The answer was, we were looking for a tuna.
Oh, nice. Tuna.
Hang on.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're looking at the biggest scandals caused by or surrounding TV programs in the noughties.
There was something in the air that was all a bit strange.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 10, Underage Stars, Skins.
Oh, it was fun. Throwing all that food around. Just like throwing it everywhere. Wow.
Few shows have been as critically acclaimed but controversial as Skins, which burst onto screens in 2007 and made being a teenager look cooler than it ever had before.
So what's it like? What's it like? Love. Right?
But the series' stroke of genius was also the biggest point against it. It cast real-life teenagers, some aged 16 or even younger, like Kaya Scodelario, only 15 in the first series, and put them into extremely adult situations.
You definitely looked at me this morning, twice, and I just thought, you know, maybe we could get to know each other.
It tackled serious issues, including substance misuse and underage sex, but was condemned at the time by some critics. Years on, and its former stars have talked about how they weren't aptly protected from the storylines they were filming, including some allegations of creepy behavior by co-creators Brian Elsley and Jamie Britton.
You've been fighting with a girl. That's not very ladylike.
No, Dad. I've been making love to a girl.
Number 9, Pedogeddon, Brass Eye.
People like this are everywhere.
That's why my own children are here with me. Good night, children. They're safe tonight. Are yours?
I doubt it.
Chris Morris had been courting controversy throughout the 90s and continued into the 2000s, with the final ever episode of Brass Eye, a 30-minute special about nonces invading society.
He's going to have sex with this 3-year-old girl now that she's 21.
No way.
You should be in a mental asylum.
As satire though, a lot of people seem to completely miss the point, with tabloids enraged that Morris would dare to mock victims of abuse. But of course, what he was actually lampooning was the media and the way this particular issue often triggers a media circus, leading to hysterical witch hunts.
The orgy of sly-winking usury was only brought to an end by a stairwell nonce bashing, which left North brain dead.
The Daily Mail was particularly aggrieved despite regularly running its own stories sexualizing teenagers. The Telegraph and The Guardian were also outraged, but history has been kind to Morris's cutting-edge comedy.
Jez North is released tomorrow. Can we be sure that pervert mechanics haven't built him one of these?
Of course we can't.
Number 8, MMR, What They Didn't Tell You, Dispatches.
It started with fear. Fear spread by a doctor. Fear of a vaccine given routinely to children, brought willingly by their parents for protection.
This documentary has become one of the most important pieces of investigative journalism ever made, as Brian Deere lifted the lid on the MMR scandal. As we now know, the single study Andrew Wakefield used to discredit the triple vaccine was completely bunk, involving him making up a new bowel disease and somehow linking that to autism. Not only did the bowel disease not exist, but many of the children in the study weren't even autistic anyway, and were subjected to unnecessary colonoscopies and other procedures.
Dr. Andrew Wakefield believed that the MMR should be broken up into single vaccines. Can you think of any basis for that?
Absolutely none at all. There's nothing in his work that really suggests where that came from.
The reason? Wakefield had a patent on an alternative vaccine to MMR, which would net him more money if parents were forced to get separate vaccines. Thanks to Deere, Wakefield was struck off years ago.
Well, it's something that I've never seen before, but I mean, the interpretation of that is quite clear to me, and that is that they have a vaccine for measles, which presumably is an alternative to the existing vaccine.
Number 7, Rat Risotto. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
I'm gonna have a rat tonight.
I'm not even kidding.
Stars sank to new lows in this old series of I'm a Celebrity when Stuart Manning and Gino D'Acampo teamed up to catch and kill a wild rat that was invading the jungle camp, which Gino promptly filleted and cooked up in the celeb's risotto that night.
Would you roast
rabbit? I fillet it and put into the risotto.
Are you up for that? Because, I mean...
ITV knew this was coming and didn't intervene, which landed the broadcaster in very hot water with the Aussie authorities.
Yeah.
Do people eat rat? In which country do people eat rat?
In subsequent years, celebs have presumably been warned against doing this, and it also defeats the purpose of doing trials in order to win better food rations, if they're allowed to just hunt the local wildlife. Gino provided the recipe just in case you've got a spare rat knocking about at home.
Well, the recipe was you put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. As soon as it starts to get hot, you put the pieces of rat into the oil, you seal it.
Number 6, Scientology and Me, Panorama.
She went there, had a weekend with them, and from that minute on she was distant, she was serious, she was devious, she was talking Scientology talk.
At the time John Sweeney was making this documentary about Scientology, it looked like it might actually gain a foothold in the UK. This hasn't happened, and it remains a largely American phenomenon, with the church regulated throughout Europe, albeit not as strictly here.
The e-meter is like a crude lie detector. As you divulge your life secrets to the auditor, the needle betrays your negative thoughts.
But the notoriously secretive church didn't want Sweeney to investigate them at all, as he talked to family members of those who isolated themselves within the church.
So we didn't tell you where we were staying, so you've been spying on us. And I find that, if I may say so, a little bit creepy.
The episode caused so much outrage that Sweeney made a follow-up 3 years later about the harassment he faced during the making of the previous one, including an infamous moment where he lost his temper during an intense interview.
Now you listen to me for a second. You have no right whatsoever to say what and what isn't a religion.
Number 5, our Jerry Springer moment. Jerry Springer, the opera. At the time, the BBC broadcast of this hit musical was hit with 55,000 complaints, making it then the most complained about piece of television in Ofcom's admittedly short history.
I can't go to hell, I'm Jewish! Surrender your mortal soul, let life swallow you up whole!
But the backlash wasn't exactly a majority, it was a frenzy whipped up by one group, Christian Voice, who thought that Jerry Springer the Opera, written by Richard Thomas and Stuart Lee, was blasphemous. Specifically, they didn't like the bits where Jesus, Mary, Adam, Eve, and other biblical figures, including God and Satan, turned up.
Jesus, Satan has something he wants to say to you. So go ahead, Satan.
The group attempted to sue the production, but were unable to on the basis that no crime had been committed.
So you got yourself crucified. Here's a little biscuit from me. I am Jesus.
Number 4, the coughing major. Who wants to be a millionaire?
We kick off tonight with a contestant returning from Saturday. Charles Ingram is here in the hot seat, a position.
Anyone who works in the world of TV quiz shows knows that there are lots of professional quizzes who make it their business to get onto these shows and attempt to win big. Major Charles Ingram and his wife Diana were two such people who attempted countless times to get onto the hot seat on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
On the £32,000 question, it looks like Diana's taken a massive gamble to help her husband cheat, but she's been spotted.
They finally succeeded, with Charles going on to win the £1 million jackpot, but producers were suspicious that he was getting tipped off by someone in the audience coughing when he read out the answers. Though the prize money was never given out, ITV still took the Ingrams to court for fraud.
There was enough concern for production to decide that they needed to stop the recording, to rewind the tape, to look back at it.
Number 3, Shilpa Shetty.
And I just feel that if this is what a TV show does to people, then it shouldn't be a TV show.
Celebrity Big Brother. From Nasty Nick to Mickey Rourke, Big Brother and its celebrity sibling have been causing controversy for decades now, but those scandals are all overshadowed by the racism row in the 5th series of Celebrity Big Brother back in 2007, in which numerous housemates ganged up on Indian contestant Shilpa Shetty, civilian star Jade Goody, model Danielle Lloyd, and Joe Mira of S Club all subjected Shetty to insults and degrading comments about her race, including mocking her accent. In the house, the contestants had no idea that they'd caused a media storm outside, with then Chancellor Gordon Brown having to apologize to India during a diplomatic trip.
So do you feel there should be another series of Celebrity Big Brother, or is this it?
I don't think they should carry on with Big Brother.
Number 2, ITV Play. Nobody got off scot-free during the premium rate phone-in scandal in the 2000s, but especially not ITV Play, a short-lived channel devoted to phone-in quizzes that was eventually shut down over this.
Generally, the attitude was that the public who were phoning in were stupid. If people are silly enough to enter these games, then they deserve to lose their money.
It had endless tricks to try and prevent the public from actually winning the prizes shown on screen, fobbing them off with claims of technical difficulties if they had a correct answer, getting on fake winners so that they didn't have to give the money away, and concocting obscure, impossible-to-guess answers. ITV Play received thousands of phone calls, all of them paying for the privilege even if they didn't get through. Broadcasters were hit with millions of pounds in fines over this.
I must have phoned 50 or 60 times. I did not get through once, and I was unaware that every time I rang I was being charged 75p for it.
Number 1. The death of Stuart Lubbock.
3 were released without charge. But the damage to Michael's career seemed irreversible.
Possibly the biggest TV star to have his career all but ended in the 2000s was Michael Barrymore. Once an all-around entertainer who ruled Saturday night in the 80s, he was already on the way out when it happened. In 2001, a man named Stuart Lubbock was found dead in Barrymore's pool with suspicious injuries. The police have always suspected foul play, but have never been able to prove what happened.
The truth about this, Michael, isn't it, is that we may never know the truth.
Yes.
Barrymore himself even temporarily fled the country and then tried, unsuccessfully, to sue the police for harassment. Bizarrely, he's since made a comeback on TikTok and YouTube, earning an audience of young fans who have no idea why he was exiled from mainstream broadcasting.
Hey everyone, I've got the munchies. I need some sweets, I've run out of them, so let's get them.
Let us know in the comments which big TV scandals from the 1990s you want to see in our next list.